Hi, my name is Jillian Dudley, and tonight I will be discussing homosexuality in the church in modern times. It has always been decided that homosexuality went against what Christianity stood for. In the past 20 years, there has been much controversy, especially as there has been a push for marriage equality and the right for gays to not only be married, but to also have specific roles in the church as well. In his article, Homosexuality in the Church, A Coptic Orthodox Perspective, Bishop Serpion wrote that homosexuality is against nature. Sexual expression is permitted only within marriage between a man and a woman, male and female. Anything else is an abnormality and is against nature. And this has been the consensus in the church for many years across many denominations. There are many verses in the Bible that are used to support that homosexuality goes against what God intended. Mark 10:6-9. But from the beginning of creation God made them male and female. Therefore a man shall leave his mother and father and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. Leviticus 12:12. You shall not lie with a man as with a woman. It is an abomination. Jude 1:7. Just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities, which likewise indulged in sexual morality and pursued unnatural desires, serve as an example by undergoing a punishment of eternal fire. These are just a few examples, as there are many. Along with the push for social reform, there have been members of the church who have spoken out in support of homosexuality. Protestant theologian Helmut Thielich argued that there has been little reflection by Christians on the subject of Christianity, arguing how Scripture has often been cited in a legalistic and fundamentally sectarian way based upon prejudice, rather than upon a sensitive theological evaluation of the text in question, and that the theological argument against homosexuality depended on a doctrinaire interpretation of the orders of creation aligned to the value of judgment for homosexuality as sinful. Basically, he believes that more interpretation is needed before we can really take a stand one way or the other. There are others who would agree with him, say that the Bible can be interpreted in many ways. Ian Dunfield, in his opinion, pointed out the Bible only has a few number of references as to what may or may not be homosexuality. And because of this, there has been great debate over what these verses actually mean. He goes on to say that the New Testament is more concerned about the internal moral sins of arrogance and greed and the external social threats of disruption and violence, and that in the teachings and practice of Jesus and Paul, the community of faith was inclusive, not exclusive. As I said before, the issue of homosexuality is controversial, whether it be within the church or outside of it. Reform continues to happen frequently today, as nearly 72% of the U.S. population lives in a state currently issuing marriage license to same-sex couples statewide. It is obvious that there are many gays and lesbians that see themselves as both homosexualities and as Christians. Because of this, they have fought to find a place for themselves in the church, whether it be in prominent roles or as members. There are many groups that have been formed within denominations that support gay members in the church. For example, the Affirming Pentecostal International is an organization of apostolic Pentecostal ministers, churches, and ministers who are all apostolic in doctrine, Pentecostal in worship style, but Christian in fellowshipping with all God's children, not just the Pentecostal ones. This debate is one that has been argued before, and like many controversial issues such as these, I'm sure will continue for years to come. Thank you for listening.